It's now March. We're having the baby. We had just finished our evangelistic meetings at church.
Yep.
That Sunday night, Elaine was saying, Ben, I'm tired. I remember sitting in church together. We had come in two separate cars because I was in choir. She goes, Ben, I want to go home. I'm like, there's an hour left. Like, relax. Like, sit down. She goes, Ben, I'm tired. She goes, at this stage, she's 9 months pregnant. She looks at me and she goes, Ben, I have to go home. Anyway, thank God she did. She gets home, her water breaks.
No way.
And that night we had Lexi. And I'm still on a high.
Yeah.
And then, as most people know, Lexi was diagnosed with Hirschsprung disease, and then which followed onto her being in intensive care for, I think, 8 weeks. Couple surgeries later, we were still there. So we went through another, another hard season of our life. And your mind takes you to places that you don't want it to go. You start thinking, is this a punishment for what we just did with IVF?
Sure.
You start to second guess, and then, God just settles your heart and he sends people your way to remind you that, God is in control of everything. And so, Lexi, praise God now, you wouldn't know it, what she's been through, her smile on her face. Fast forward 2 years later, or a year and a half later, we have Asher, who was born healthy. And let me tell you, you would think he's gone through World War II or something with his life and the way that he carries on. So, it's just hard.
How do you go through that 8-week period? Because I remember seeing you, man. It was rough. We were praying for you constantly.
It's one day at a time. As I said, I've taken that same concept in every area of my life. There were days where they said to us that she may not make it. No one wants to hear that. No one wants to be in that situation. But you don't deal with the future. You deal with what's in front of you right there and then. And I think that's all God ever wants us to do. And I think that's what God was teaching me then. Like, I thought, I had got to this stage, or I had got me and Elaine to this point. But God has reminded me every step of the way, everything that's good in my life has been from Him. Anything that I've enjoyed, it's because of God. And that was the other thing. Lexi, getting moments. You know what? I actually remember asking God, just give me a child for one day.
Wow.
And this is pre-Alexandra. And I remember then I got Lexi, and then she was sick. And I want to take back that comment. Like, no. Like, I didn't literally mean one day, but give me a child. And then, you give it to God. And I remember the day that they told us, it was Good Friday of 2018 when she was born, where they said to us, she may not make it through the night. And I remember saying to God, if that's your will, let it be done, but that's not what I want. God's will isn't always what we want.
Yeah.
But, I thank God for the time He's given me with her, the time He's given me with Asha, and potentially this next daughter I have in January. But each day it's, okay, how can I get through today? Because I don't know about tomorrow. Yeah. That's that hymn we sing. It's so true, because God does not want us to worry about tomorrow for the things until we've got through what we have to get through for Him today. We can forward plan, and we can be good stewards of our time and money and everything, but we still need to always focus on what we're doing today, for the glory of God.
I think that's a very, unfollowed mindset right now, especially with, young people trying to plan for the future, trying to get their degrees sorted, whatever it might be. It's so hard to stay in the moment. And I think we need to be staying in the moment, especially during those rough times, because if we don't, and we don't learn the lesson that God's trying to teach us in that moment, we're going to miss it. And then we'll find ourselves out of that moment and not realize what He was trying to say. And
everything we do, every action that we make, or that we take now, the consequences affect or change or alter our future. So if you're not making the right choices today, you can be planning for something down the track, but you're not going to get there if you haven't set yourself up for success in that area right there and then. So we need to spend more time focusing on the choice that we're making now. We may think we're young, but each choice will affect your future, and it may change where you should have been if you had followed God's will from early on.